Hello, can you guys hear me? Just give me a thumbs up, please. Good evening, good evening. Hello, Karen. Hi, Sue. Can you guys hear me? Please just give me a thumbs up. Thanks, Lovell. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. Apologies, I switched devices. I was doing the live on my iPhone, and for some other reason, the comments were disabled. So I've switched back to my other phone. So, okay. Thanks for that. Just give me 1 second. Let me just adjust here. Everything's to be going wrong tonight, but anyway, there we are. Okay. Good evening, guys. A lot to smile about. You must be asking yourselves why, because obviously load shedding has returned, but there's a lot to smile about because we are world champions yet again. So I'll be smiling for the rest of the year, irrespective of the load shedding. So yeah, I'm extremely happy, and I hope you are happy as well. I've got a video actually of the weekend when I was while I was busy watching the rugby. I was watching it with a bunch of people, and they actually took a video of the celebrations that happened after the final whistle blew, and I passed out twice. Yeah, from high blood pressure and getting up or jumping up all of a sudden, and then obviously my blood pressure dropped and I passed out twice. So that will definitely not go onto YouTube, but I had a good laugh when I watched it afterwards. Thank you for joining me tonight. Apologies, Neil is unfortunately in a meeting tonight, so he asked me to fill in for him tonight. But I've had something on my mind for quite some time now, and I was inspired by what happened over the last 6 to 8 weeks during this World Cup, and I'm happy to share that with you tonight. So thank you for joining. I'm gonna get right into it. Obviously, as you guys saw, the topic of my banner tonight, or the heading, says the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I will be covering the good and the bad and the ugly in my first topic discussion, which is obviously the Springboks. So firstly, before I start, a massive, massive, massive congratulations and a shout out to our Springbok team for achieving the nearly impossible, and for winning the World Cup, for making us all proud, and for giving us all something to smile about amidst all this chaos and nonsense that's going on in South Africa. So once again, the Springboks have done it. There's no other entity or group or person or anything in South Africa that has the ability to lift our spirits the way the Springbok rugby team has. There's no other team that can do what they do to us as South Africans. And I'm also acknowledging all our sports teams that are doing well, but there's only one Springbok team, and I'm going to give them all my attention tonight. I will wait to see the results, or the end results, of the Cricket World Cup, but for now, or tonight, it's all about the Springboks. So the good, 100% the Springbok rugby team. Massive shout out, well done Springboks. And then the bad and the ugly. I'm going to combine the bad and the ugly. Our president walking up and getting up on that podium and putting his hands on that William Webb Ellis Cup and trying to steal some of the glory that he had literally zero contribution in. I mean, the audacity. That was unfortunately a downer to that whole celebration afterwards that happened when we won the World Cup. So it's not my position to hand out hand on heart awards or ice cream awards. That's Neil's job, but since I'm filling in for Neil tonight, I will be handing out my own hand on heart award and ice cream award tonight. So obviously the hand on heart award has to go to the Springboks. So Springboks, there you go. Well done, and thank you for what you have done for us once again. And then obviously the ice cream award, I say, kry vir jou ons president Cyril Ramaphosa. Anyway, I don't want to waste my whole life tonight speaking about Cyril Ramaphosa. This is about the Springboks. This is about hope. This is about unity. So I'm going to speak as little as much possible about Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC. So there's a lot of lessons that we can take from the Springboks and from this Rugby World Cup. A lot of things that contributed to their success and them winning the World Cup for a record fourth time. And I think if these lessons are things that the Springboks actually implemented during this World Cup campaign. And it's something that those things serve as great lessons to us as South Africans in light of what we are facing daily in South Africa, and obviously with the national elections looming around the corner in 2024. So I'm going to highlight some of those lessons for you, and then let's use them in modern or in everyday examples, or in our everyday struggles that we go through in South Africa. So the things that stood out to me about the Springboks and the reasons why they won the World Cup. Number one, definitely their never say die attitude, never giving up. You guys saw the last 3 matches we played. We won by 1 point, but the win is a win. We had the most difficult World Cup draw in history, the most difficult road to the final in history, and we overcame all those odds and we won. And that's simply because we just never gave up. We refused to give up. I mean, you look at a guy like Pieter-Steph du Toit in that last match against the All Blacks. He made a record number of tackles in that match. That's the attitude we need as South Africans as well. That is a great lesson that we can take from the Springboks. Never give up. Never say die. Stand together, fight together, stick together. Whatever happens. Second lesson. You need to have a great leader that is respected by the team and that respects the team. You need a leader that is respected and loved by the players, and a leader that loves and respects the players in return. How many interviews that we see in the last couple of weeks where Siya Kolisi gave shout-outs to Rassie Erasmus and Jacques Nienaber? How many times did Siya Kolisi tell the media or speak to the media and basically explain to them how they get treated as players by the 2 Springbok coaches? I remember there was one interview where Siya Kolisi said the difference between Jacques Nienaber and some of the other coaches that he's had in the past is that Jacques Nienaber actually cares about the person. He cares about the players. He cares about their families. He cares about their well-being. It's not just about the game to him, it's about the people. It's not just about the rugby. It's not just about the achievements. It's actually about the people. You saw in 1919, during that World Cup, you saw Rassie Erasmus cry when he spoke about Makuzolo Mapimpi. I mean, that is a coach that loves his players. And that's why the players love him. That's why the players respect him. And that is why those players will sacrifice their bodies and I'll go so far as to say their lives for those people, because they love and respect them so much. So having a great leader, a respected leader, a leader that you love and care for, and having a leader that cares and loves his players, or cares for and loves his players in return, is vital. That's vital. Then you need to have a great plan. I mean, the Springboks didn't go into this World Cup without a plan. They didn't go into these matches without plans. Every match had a plan, a strategy. And those plans and strategies were executed to perfection. And that is one of the reasons we won the World Cup. Now, in order for a plan to work, you need to have faith in the plan. You need to have faith in the person that comes up with the plan. So a great plan is absolutely vital. But then again, you need to have faith in that plan, and you need to have faith in the person that comes up with that plan. And that is something that was a great strength of the Springbok team and the whole Springbok setup, is the strategies that they came up with, that they actually believed in. and they implemented that on the field, and you all saw the results. And then I think, in my opinion, probably the most important lesson that we can take from this World Cup was team selection, picking the right players to do the job. If we had gone to the World Cup with any other group of players, we probably would not have achieved what we achieved. So it was very, very important to pick the right team, to pick the right players to get the job done. And that was the case. That's why we won. The right team was selected by the right people, competent people who knows rugby, who knows the game, who knows the players. The right team was selected. The right team went to the World Cup. And that is what happened. We won the World Cup. And the same thing applies to South Africa. The same thing applies to politics. The same thing applies to what's going to happen next year. For 30 years now, we have had 30-odd million selectors in this country that get to pick a team every 5 years to lead and govern this country. And for 30 years, they have gotten that team selection wrong. That's why we are where we are. That's why we are struggling. That's why nothing good is happening for us in South Africa. That's why we are sitting with load shedding, a failed economy, failed infrastructure, crime that is completely out of control. It's because we don't have the right leader. We don't have the right team captains. We don't have the right coaches. We don't have the right team that's been selected. And at the end of the day, you know what? We have to take the responsibility for that. We have to take responsibility for that because we are the selectors. We are the selectors. We get to pick that team. Just shows you what happens when you pick a wrong team. And it also shows you, out of the examples the Springboks have provided, it also shows you what happens when you pick the right team. So it's very, very important next year, people, that we pick the right team, that we pick the right players. Because with the right team, South Africa can go far. With the right team, all South Africa's problems can be resolved and sorted out. But with the wrong team, we are going to go further down the drain. So, very important, awesome lessons that we can take from this World Cup and from the Springboks. Awesome lessons. So it's up to us, the team selectors, to make the right selections next year and pick the right team that can take South Africa forward. Then my next topic, obviously, is unity in diversity versus unity in adversity. So I'm going to give you guys my opinion on this. Some of you might agree, some of you might not agree. But I don't necessarily think that there's something such as unity in diversity. Because if there was, we would not hear things like South Africa is more divided now than ever before. And you would not hear things like racism is alive and well in South Africa, if that was the case. I think diversity actually creates division, because those are things that make us different. But being different is not a bad thing. We are a multicultural society with many races, many religions, many languages, and we should celebrate our uniqueness, and we should celebrate our individuality and our, let's say, diversity. And we need to respect one another's. We need to respect those things that make other people different from us. I'm not saying that we have to be united 24/7. That's impossible. And I challenge anyone to go and find examples. Show me examples of us being united in our diversity over the last 30 years. No. There have been times when we have been united in South Africa. But we have been united when we've had common goals. We have been united in moments of adversity, not diversity. We are united in our adversity, not in our diversity. It's when challenges come up, it's when we encounter obstacles that for some or other reason South Africans seem to get together, unite and work together. That is when we unite. We unite when we face obstacles. We unite when we have common goals. That is why Neil always says it would have been great to have a World Cup in South Africa or to have a World Cup every year. Because those moments, those seem to be the only moments when we truly unite as a country and as people. I'm going to use a very interesting example, and this is actually quite a funny one. I'm referring to the incident now where one of the Springbok rugby players was accused of making a racial statement on the field towards one of the English players. Now, you know what? Under any other circumstances, had this happened in everyday, normal, day-to-day life in South Africa, there would have been a major issue made out of that incident, and it probably would have been made into a racial issue. It would have been a black on white thing. It would have been a black against white thing. Once again, because, you know, people in South Africa tend to play the race card for the most insignificant situations of conflict. I don't know how else to illustrate that or explain that. People are very quick to play the race card. But what happened during the World Cup when that South African player was accused of making a racial comment? It didn't become a black and white thing. It became a South Africa versus the rest thing. It became a South Africa versus England thing. No one in South Africa cried racism or cried foul or whatever. No one. It never became a racial issue in South Africa. It never became a black and white issue in South Africa. It was a Springbok or South Africa versus England thing. En julle het gesien op Facebook, almal het hulle kant gestel dan, nê? Almal het hulle kant gestel. And that's awesome. That is awesome. Because black, white, brown, yellow, pink, everybody united behind that South African player and supported him. And there's a couple of funny memes that actually came out of this whole incident. Some funny jokes and stuff, and words that have been made into national words in South Africa. Now some beautiful, well, not beautiful, controversial Afrikaans words that were made into something light-hearted. But like I said, if this didn't happen in the World Cup, if this happened anywhere else in South Africa, it would have been a racial issue. So what's the moral of the story? South Africa, we are diverse. We don't need to necessarily love each other. We need to respect each other. We need to respect each other's diversity. And when the moment comes, and when the call comes, we must be able to stand together and unite to achieve a common goal or to overcome an obstacle. Other than that, everybody can go about their business, hang out with who they want to hang out with, have their braais, have their pap, have their curry, enjoy your culture, celebrate your uniqueness and your diversity. Respect other people's cultures. Don't discriminate. And when the need arises, get together. Set your differences aside and get together to achieve that common goal or to overcome that obstacle. That's why I say, in actual fact, they must actually change the national slogan. It's not unity in diversity, it's unity in adversity. We always unite when obstacles come. For some other reason, we always unite as South Africans when we are faced with challenges. And here's a news flash for you. We are currently facing adversity in South Africa every single day. We are currently finding ourselves in a situation. We've got a massive obstacle to overcome. So this is the perfect opportunity for us to set our differences aside, or to put our differences aside and to unite. Because we have a goal. We have a common goal. And that is to get rid of this corrupt government that we've been living under for so long. That is to vote for change, to change South Africa. That is our common goal. We are all faced with the same daily circumstances in South Africa. We are all suffering from load shedding or under load shedding. We are all being affected by fuel prices. We are all driving on the same roads. We are all affected by crime and corruption in South Africa. Every single one of us, irrespective of your color or your race. So that is a common obstacle that we have as people in South Africa, as citizens in South Africa. We are living in adverse conditions. All of us. And we've got a common goal, and that common goal is 2024. So we've got all the reason in the world to unite. And then once we have achieved this goal, we can all go our separate ways again and live in harmony, live in peace, respect one another. And then, if another obstacle or challenge comes our way, we unite again. And we take that challenge on, and we overcome that obstacle, or we defeat that problem, or whatever we're faced with. That is what we need to do. We did it now, a week ago. Springbok showed us how. Springbok team is as there's no other team in world rugby that is as diverse as the Springbok rugby team. Those 33 or 35 or how many players they are, they love each other. You can see it. You can see it on the field. They love and respect each other. They love and respect their coaches. Their coaches love and respect them. Look at the celebrations when they came back to South Africa. Everybody was celebrating. Look at the videos. Look at the stuff on YouTube. Look at the stuff on Facebook. Everybody was celebrating, hugging each other, kissing each other, celebrating. Because we're united. For this moment, for that moment, when it was needed, we united. You know what? And it's the World Cup's done. It's finished. We have all gone back to our lives, our normal daily lives. Dinge gaan maar aan. We still vloek each other, and we still want to kill each other and moor each other, and it's back to normal. But that's okay, people. We are human beings. This is stuff that happens. As long as we can just get together when it's needed. When the time comes, when we need to unite to achieve a common goal or to overcome an obstacle, that's when we need to stand together. And in between, just respect one another. Just respect one another, and I think, in my opinion, everything will be fine. And we can. We have shown it in the past. We've had numerous examples of South Africans achieving exactly what I spoke about tonight. I just want to point out 10 things that South Africa, or that the UIM government, or let me rephrase that. This is what a UIM government will look like. So 10 points, things that we will do in the first 100 days of governance. If we, let's say for instance, the UIM was appointed as the government of South Africa. These are the 10 things that we would change within the first 100 days. Now I've got a news flash for you, that this 10-point list grew to a 20-point list in the last 2 hours. So I'm just going to give you 9 or 10 examples, but there are plenty more, because we obviously realize that South Africa is faced with more than just 10 problems. We've got lots of problems, and the UIM has got lots of solutions to those problems. So I'm just going to point out 10 that I have randomly written down. Neil sent me another 10 brand new ones an hour ago. We will speak about those points at some time as well, maybe during our next live. And then we will dedicate lives to each and every point, to have discussion on each and every point, because I think it's very important that we do that. So, under a UIM government in the first 100 days, we will end BEE. 100%. No more BEE. You get appointed on merit, according to your educational background, your achievements, your skill, your competence. That's how people will get jobs in South Africa. No more BEE. We will review all legislation in South Africa, and we will change discriminatory legislation, because you will be surprised if you go through all the legislation and even the constitution in some instances. There are some rules there or regulations there that, you know what, that has a very broad scope of application. Lots of loopholes that people can use to their disadvantage at the expense of others. So we've always said that we will definitely review the Constitution and change it if we have to. That Constitution was written 30 years ago. Times have changed. But there are definitely discriminatory laws that we need to change. And there's a whole bunch of new amendments that came out in the last couple of weeks that are ridiculous. You guys have seen the videos, you've seen the UIM statements. Those are things we need to change. We will offer free education, primary and secondary education to everybody. And then we will bring back a national service year that you can use to earn free tertiary education. So a national service year doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go to the army, but you are going to work for the government or the state or whatever you want to call it for a year, community service, whatever, and through that you will earn your free tertiary education. Primary, secondary, free. We will immediately formulate a plan. We will appoint a team of experts, specialists, engineers, and together with them formulate a plan to end the energy crisis in South Africa and to come up with alternative solutions if we have to. But we need to appoint the right people that knows about these things, clever people, people with degrees, people with experience. Appoint the right people, appoint a team of people that can come up with a solution and then implement that and sort this energy crisis out within the first 100 days if we can. Or come up with alternative solutions that we need to implement, that we will implement. But this energy crisis will be solved under a UIM government, and it will be solved quickly by the right people. Remember, appoint the right team. We will bring back the commando system. I don't know if I'm referring to it in the correct terminology in English. Is die commando, die ou commando system in South Africa. We'll probably call it, I know Niels mentioned something, what did he mention? It was a community safety and security groups. The way the commandos operated in the early years. So we are going to take the responsibility of keeping ourselves and our families and communities safe. We are going to assume that responsibility because the police are outnumbered. We're going to help the police in that extent, and we are going to make sure that those groups and the people in those groups get all the authority and whatever they need to do what's needed. They will get all the authority needed legally to make arrests and to do whatever they can by all means necessary to protect their families, their communities, their towns, their streets, their wards, their farms. So we are bringing those groups back because we have to take responsibility for our own safety in South Africa, because it's reached the point now, where we can't really rely on anybody else. We need to support the police need to support us, but we need to bring back those groups 100%, and we need to train them, get the right people to train them, and get the right people to implement that system. But bring it back, we will, definitely. We will definitely within the first 100 days upgrade border security and deport all the illegal occupants in South Africa. If you don't have a passport, bye-bye. If you don't have a passport, bye-bye. We are taking our cities back. Our cities have fallen into the hands of foreigners. We've got spots in Pretoria and Johannesburg called Little Nigeria. I mean, imagine a bunch of us from the Free State going to Lagos or to Lagos in Nigeria and taking over Lagos or a part of Lagos and them calling it Little Bloody Free State. No, it's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. We're going to sort that out. We will adopt a South Africa first policy, which means South Africans will be in line for work first and foremost. They will get preference. They will get preference over people that are non-South African. When it comes to jobs, anything. Locally produced goods, local produce. We are going to stimulate our economy. We are going to help our farmers so that they can produce food so that we can feed ourselves, so that we can stop imports, and that we only import what is necessary. SA first. We are going to increase SASSA pension to a respectable living amount, whatever that amount entails. Whether it's a 50% increase, a 100% increase, a 200% increase, or 1,000% increase, I don't care. We will sit with the clever people and we will work that out, and we will make sure that every pensioner in South Africa receives a respectable SASSA grant or pension that they can live off. Not this cock that they are busy with now. Bloody, excuse my Swahili. We are going to fire all corrupt officials in South Africa. All corrupt officials or officials that have pending cases against them. And we are going to take legal action against those that have avoided it until now. So these people that think that they're going to just get away with it scot-free after they are dismissed or fired, slegte nuus vir julle. We are going to open up criminal cases against all of those that deserve it. Or all of those people that are suspected of criminal activity or fraud or theft. We are going to open up cases against you, and we're going to investigate it. And we are going to charge you, and we are going to send you to prison if we have to. So, don't think you can steal now and do what you want to do now and get away with it afterwards because you're not going to be in government anymore. No, doesn't work like that. And we are going to get rid of all the corrupt officials. That is just a short list of 9 points that I just brought up. 10 things that the UIM will do if we are elected to govern South Africa. Those are the things that we are going to do in the first 100 days. You are going to get a shock when you see the other 10 things that Neil sent me this afternoon. So we've got a plan. We've got a blueprint. We've identified a lot of things in South Africa that need urgent fixing. And we're going to fix it. Once again, Springboks, the examples we've been given. We are never going to give up. Doesn't matter what. We are not going to give up. We are not going anywhere. We are not emigrating. We are here to stay, and we're going to continue fighting. And we are going to stick together, and we're going to see this through. Come hell or high water. You guys have the right leadership. You have leadership that care about you, that really care about South Africa. We've got supporters and followers that really care about us and appreciate what we are doing. We've got a great plan. We've got a great plan. All we need now is for you, the selectors, to pick the right team in 2024. Short and sweet. That's all I have for the evening. I want to leave you with my quote of the week. I said that I was going to give you guys a quote of the week. The quote of the week is as follows, and I'm going to read it out to you, so please excuse me. When adversity strikes, we are reminded that we are all in the same boat, and it is our unity that will help us weather the tempest. So, please take that quote, post it on your statuses, post it on Facebook, share it with everybody. Let's take hands, people. We have to unite because we are facing adversity in the moment, and we do have a common goal. So now is the time to unite. We can all go our separate ways after the elections, and then when the time comes for us to unite, we will unite again. And we will keep on doing this until we have sorted South Africa out. Because we love each other in South Africa, we respect one another, we are a great country, we're the best country in the world. We are a third world country that beat the rest of the world and won a 4th World Cup. Not bad for a third world country. But it's the people that make a country, that makes us who we are. It's the people in South Africa that make South Africa what it is. So, thanks for listening. Have a great night. Please share this live, share it with everybody. And let's stay positive. Keep on supporting us. Thank you for your support. Well done to the Springboks. Ugh. And have a great week. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.